Hi everyone, this is Tracy from 37 Chocolates. It's Thursday and we're here on a different Facebook live tasting. Today, well, I wanted to do something a little different. As you may know, I got into craft chocolate or bean to bar, whatever you want to call it, at a coffee shop named Philter Coffee in Kennett Square in Pennsylvania. And I wanted actually to show you that actually this is a story of how I got into chocolate, and it was published in Edible Philly almost 4 years ago. And you can see us here. This is Chris. Oh, yes, backward. Chris from Philter. He's the owner. Here was Laura, who further contributed to my chocolate knowledge, and obviously that's me. And we can see Dan over here, who's a beekeeper. Anyway, bottom line is one day Chris from Philter gave me a piece of a 75% Madagascar chocolate from 24 blackbirds, and it just stopped me in my tracks because that's the first time I had the dark chocolate that didn't taste bitter. And that was the beginning of my curiosity in chocolate. And so, like many coffee shops in the US, the shop is closed for, the cafe is closed. However, you can place orders of coffee beans and chocolate on their website. So if you go to philtercoffee.com, this is really for local people. Like, they don't do shipping so anywhere else in the US, but if you are local to Kennett Square, you can go online and just place an order, and you'll have it within like if you are in Kennett Square, you get in within 24 hours. So I placed an order yesterday, which was super easy, and I picked it up today. The one thing I've been missing the cappuccinos big time, for sure, because I used to be there like all the time. I miss the cappuccinos, but something else that surprised me that I missed so much was actually the croissants. So I asked to get some frozen dough, and this is the box I got here. And yeah, I got a box of croissant. So that's the Chris way of spelling croissant dough. So we're gonna have that for breakfast tomorrow, and I'm super excited. All right, so the reason I wanted to do this with you is I know some of you feel all hungry when you watch me do these videos, but also I know a lot of you have seen the chocolate selection at Philter and are not necessarily sure what to pick and why. So I figured I get a small selection and we'll try this together, and then you'll see, based on my notes, you'll see if you're interested in getting a bar or another. See, I had forgotten. I mean, I placed that yesterday and I forgot even what I had. So this is what I got. And for those of you who are watching, feel free to chime in on what you'd like me to try first. I got this bar. It's a 72% dark chocolate from Askinosie chocolate, which is a company I'm quite fond of. I got this one. I felt I had to. Oh, that's so pretty. Ritual chocolate. That's a company based in Utah. Berries and Bubbly. Then we have Parliament chocolate, company based in California. 70% Thai cacao. But yeah. And then I got 2 bars from Soma. Oh my gosh, this one is like super good. The Milk Old School from Soma, which is a Toronto Canada-based company, and that's actually a milk chocolate that and my mouth is watering, that feels like a lot like a cookie, as you can imagine. And this is this is not 100% chocolate. These are candied lemon peel dipped in milk chocolate, and this is what I like having when I'm having a milk and coffee drink. I like the way this is tying all the flavors together. And so I figure, you know what, I want to start with yeah, I don't see much comments now. Actually, I see no comments, so I'm just going to go ahead and get started and just pick my own chocolate. So I'm going to start with this bar by Askinosie chocolate. Askinosie chocolate is a company that's been around for at least a decade, I want to say. And it was founded like by a former defense attorney in Missouri. If you look up, if you're looking for something inspiring actually to read right now, I would recommend Meaningful Work by Sean Askinosie. So you can check it on wherever you get your books. But he used to take on very heavy duty cases. Like I don't even like talking about them because I think people would just start sobbing how awful they were, how like tragic. And he realized that he no longer had a passion for law, and it took him 5 years, if I remember correctly, to actually find like what was going to be his next thing. He ends up volunteering in palliative care. I mean, it's really. You read the book, the beginning is like you're just thrown in there and you're like, wow, how did he survive that? I know I heard in a podcast he actually was an antidepressant for some time because it just was that hard of a time. But he does say in the book there's something really beautiful, that you have to look at the source of your suffering to find your calling, essentially. Like, I really paraphrase, and I don't want to butcher it, but look up Meaningful Work by Sean Askinosie. It's a wonderful book to read, especially right now. Jessica says she loves Askinosie. Can't wait to hear what you think of this bar. So this one, let's look at the ingredients. Okay, Zamora Amazonia cocoa beans, parenthesis Ariba Nacional. That's translation for like fancy cocoa beans, organic cane sugar and cocoa butter. All right, made in our factory with Amazonia beans. So what it's saying is that the cocoa butter is made at the factory by Askinosie Chocolate. And they are pressing their own butter, so it's gonna keep the same. You're gonna recognize the same flavor as the cocoa beans. Like, you know, it's not like like a lot of chocolate companies buy commercial cocoa butter. This one, it's not made with commercial cocoa butter. They're pressing it from the actual bean that they're using to make this. So, all right, what do the tasting notes say? Okay, you might taste earthy richness, fudge, and hints of raisin and mocha. I think I remember I've had this bar actually. Okay, hold on, let me open this. I see Brian is on and my friend Sheila is on. Okay, I always love the shine on those bars. I don't know if you can see. It's nice and bright and shiny, like we would say, like this is a well-tempered chocolate. And it says Askinosie here. So the aroma, you do feel like a fruitiness in the aroma. So the snap is it is firm, but you do feel like your teeth really hit that cocoa butteriness. That makes sense. There's this it's firm but still creamy. It melts really well in the mouth. I got first hit by I would say, yeah, like there is I feel a bit of tannin, like there is a red wine character to this chocolate. I remember the first time I tried it, that's really what I tasted, and then it goes on it goes on to feel more fudgy, coffee, nutty. And so it starts fruit and then it goes on like toward those kind of flavor. But for me, this isn't a coffee chocolate. This isn't the kind of chocolate I'll have with coffee because it's just so fruity, unless maybe with a lighter roast, which would have those flavors. It's really, I like it a lot on its own. I actually, the way I would eat it with immense pleasure, I would add. I've been making a lot of no-knead bread, you know, with like that you bake in a cast iron pot. This on a baguette, like some nice crusty French type of bread, would be absolutely delicious. Like as almost a room temperature toast, if that makes sense. Like I wouldn't even toast the bread. Like we would call it a tartine in French. Like open face, it will be an open face sandwich. This will be where I would love to have this with bread tomorrow. That's how I plan to enjoy it. This at 4 o'clock, like at 4 p.m. that would be great. I mean, I know lots of people would be into alcohol at that time, but I like to channel my inner French kid and eat a chocolate and baguette, which is a typical 4 o'clock snack when you're a kid in France. So that's the flavor. The texture is really, like, I still have it in my mouth. The texture it's really nice and creamy, and it doesn't dissolve too fast. It's a very satisfying chocolate. Like, I don't feel like having a second just because of the amount of flavor we're having. So Jessica, I don't know if this answers your questions, or if you were, I mean, if you like, curiosity is satisfied. Let me put it this way. I hope so. But yes, this with bread. So what do we have next? I have to say, I'm really, really interested in trying this bar. So for those of you who just joined, this is the Berries and Bubbly Ritual Chocolate by Ritual Chocolate. Ritual Chocolate is a company based in Utah, and they have I like their signature texture. It tends to be very smooth, very velvety, and they've gone through various stages of various iterations of their wrapper. It used to be very simplistic with like a little piece of foil, and now, like, I mean, I just want you to see the unboxing experience of this. So this is a limited edition that they have, and look at this. So you open the flap like this, and then you could remove it like an envelope. Look at that. See, I had never paid attention, like when you take it this way, boom. Yeah, that's really, really cool. I mean, this is very thoughtful. Or like you could actually open it too, and then you have a nod to where they're coming from. Like, I love the mountain theme here, and I'm not even a mountain person, but I think this does a really good job of sweeping you away into a distant from PA place. And they do have a lot of special edition, and you'll notice them because like they keep this black wrapper and then they put a sticker here, and on the back it's a little hard to read because of the yellow, but they're saying whenever there's something to celebrate, we love to do it with a bottle of bubbly, chocolate and berries. Okay, so we thought, why not create a chocolate bar that contains our 3 favorite ingredients. We made the celebratory chocolate bar by soaking Madagascar cocoa nibs in sparkling white wine in a wine barrel, then grinding those nibs into chocolate and topping it off with dry raspberries. We hope that next time you celebrate, you do it with chocolate bar and maybe a bottle of bubbly too. Man, had I known I was going to do it, I made up my mind at the last minute. I would have put have a bottle of cuvee from Grace Winery. I would have put that in the fridge. Maybe I'll do that tomorrow. Ingredients: cocoa, cane sugar, dried raspberries, cocoa butter, and sparkling white wine. Yeah, let's celebrate for making it another day into our lives. But anyway, oh, you could feel really nice here. Can feel the raspberries. I have to put my bar on my wish list too, Jessica. Well, I think so. Oh wow! All right, let me show you. Oops. Nice. Look at that shine. And this is the back. How cool is that? This is nice and festive, and we could all use more festive in our lives right now. All right. All right, I'm going to break a piece. Okay. Oh yeah, nice raspberries. The texture is not as velvety as some of the other Ritual bar, but the flavor is super fun. The flavor is super fun. The raspberries are obviously super tart. The chocolate is very lemony, but not too acidic. And that could be from the fact that they say they're using Madagascar cocoa nibs. Madagascar has a nice citrusy flavor that really goes well with raspberries and lemon. Sometimes that these are notes that you find in the chocolate, so that I would imagine that's what dictated their choice, informed their choice. But yeah, this is, it's fun. What I like is the way everything blends together. The raspberry, the chocolate, you don't taste each individual component separately. It all makes a for a nice sensation like that. I'd be curious to see how this is working with Bubbly, because it is a quite dark chocolate, and it can be a little tricky to pair with Bubblies, in my experience. So I mean, I can take one for the team and find out for you. But yeah, this is a really fun bar. Fun is really the way I would describe it. Ramona says, I love this brand. Ramona is watching us from California. Yeah, I mean, it's this is solid. Yeah, and yeah, so really fun. Yeah, I really like the tart aftertaste. It's very zippy. So next, all right, next I really want to try this because I adore this bar. And for those of you who just started watching, if you are local, you can get all of these bars at Philter Coffee in Kennett Square. So what you do is you go to philtercoffee.com, and then there's the sticker. If you go to philtercoffee.com and add this chocolate to your cart, and if you really are close to Canada, you get it like very soon, like within 24 hours. If you live a little further away, you have to wait a few days. But yeah, I mean, this is great. Okay, so a word about Soma. Let's end on a very sweet, much sweeter note. Soma is a chocolate company based in Toronto, in Canada. And if I had to put it in one sentence, I don't think they do. There is not one bar that I have had, one chocolate product that I've had for them that is not outstanding. If you just, are looking for a chocolate that won't let you down, that's Soma is the way to go. And this old school. So old school is something they whipped up in their factory. I mean, or their workshop in Toronto. It's they only use 3 ingredients. So cocoa beans, sugar, and milk powder. This one is the milk version. I usually like things darker. I've tried the dark version. It's good, but this tastes much richer. This is 38% cacao, and it's made with beans from Chihuahua. Okay, so for those of you who may not be into chocolate, translation, it's a big deal. Spell it out. I don't know, Ramona, if you can see, everything is here. And so what sets this apart is this was very minimally processed in a mélanger or grinder, and it hasn't been refined. And so that's why it has a very coarse texture. I just look at this. I think you might even see some sugar crystals. It's not too clear. Look at that. Yeah. All right. Okay. The smell, that smells that's like when your mom baked a chocolate cake in your inner kitchen. That's what it smells like. And yeah, it's a mixture of sugar and milk and chocolate, which is exactly what's in the bar. So it manages to be super crunchy and fudgy at the same time. If you are familiar with Taza chocolate, like the disc, I mean, I expected this to taste like that, or have that texture. That's actually not the case. This is it doesn't feel gritty in the way other rustic chocolate tastes like or feels like. This isn't, I wouldn't call it, it's not gritty, it's rustic, not gritty. And I think that's why I like this so much, because I'm not a fan of like gritty chocolate. Some people really love it. It's not my thing, but this tastes a lot and feels a lot like a cookie. And I like that you definitely feel the creaminess of the milk, but also the cocoa really shines through. You do feel like a little bit of brightness from the cacao. It's super satisfying. I mean, it's really good. And this would go well with a nice cup of coffee. If you're really too lazy to do breakfast, just have this as a side. I think that would be good. But yeah, it's you know, I like chocolate that gives you some chumping. Yeah, it is as nice as I remember. And if you think you don't like that gritty stuff, you might actually really like this. And I don't know how they managed to give this gritty, this rustic texture without, you know, without the sugar coming through. I think that's quite interesting. But they're Soma, they're amazing, and whatever magic they do in Toronto, it works. So I don't know if you wanted me to try something else. I still have those 2 bars. I think I can save them for the next video on Tuesday. If you wanted to go online and order this too. So this is the Parliament, the Thai, and then these are the chocolate cover lemon peels. I'm sorry. So yeah, so for those of you who are local, try to get those, and then we'll try them together on Tuesday. I think that'd be super fun, and I would try something else too to round it all up. But yeah, I hope this was fun for you. I hope you're gonna try new chocolate soon. And if you are local, remember to support local businesses in Kennett and Philter with a PH. If you haven't never been there and you're local, you don't know what you're missing out, but you should go there, philtercoffee.com, and you can shop for all this chocolate. Thank you so much for watching, and have a wonderful weekend, and see you on Tuesday for another video. See you, bye.